All right, so we're going to get started. So I just want to thank everyone for coming and participating. I'm hoping this will be something that you'll be able to use in your life. I know I did this workshop a couple weeks ago and it really was impactful, so I thought I wanted to share it. So let me tell you, hold on. All right, so let me tell you who I am. My name's Roshan. I own A New Life Consulting. We are a career coaching and consulting firm. My background is in recruitment. I've been an executive recruiter for the last 7 years, but I've been in recruitment almost 30 years. So I've got 30 years of helping people with job, things like that. So let's get started. Before we get started, I want everyone to get a piece of paper and a pen or pencil, whatever you choose, because we're going to be doing some writing and some thinking, okay? So today we're going to pick one word to guide you in 2023. So why one word? Like I said, I did this a couple weeks ago and it was really an eye-opener for me because I've done resolutions before and they don't work. I've tried doing a word before and I've done this for a couple of years and I would get through the year and I'd forget the word or it didn't impact different areas of my life. So I thought, okay, that doesn't work either, but I know for sure resolutions don't work. So this is a way that we're going to approach the new year with a fresh mindset that will actually stick. I'm going to share some ways you can intentionally choose just one word that will guide and impact every area of your life. So one word simplifies everything. So this strategy can be used for anyone. You can use it with kids, staff, employees, families. It's a great bonding exercise, and you can even have kids choose a word. So if you already have a word in mind, I know some of you do, and that's fine. I want you to keep that word, but then I also want you to allow the process to work and let's see if you choose another word or if you even keep this word. You might decide that you want to change your word. You might decide to keep it, or you might not even choose a word today. That's okay. So when I first did this, I did not choose my word right away. I had to think about it. I had to go over it. So I wrote some words down and I prayed over it and tried to figure out what word, like really spoke to me. So it took me a couple of days to figure out what my word was. That's okay. I'm sorry, I got lost here. Hold on, I need to let somebody else in. So we're going to discover one word that is meant just for you. That's all you need to focus on for this year. No resolutions, just one word. Doesn't take willpower, no forcing. We're just going to allow it to happen. So, sorry, going backwards. So let's get started. So you want to grab a pen and paper, and we're going to work on discovering our word together. So as we're going through this, we're going to go through a series of questions. And I'm going to give you a minute to think about each question. And so it's going to be 3 series of questions, 3 questions each. And I'll give you a minute. You can write the question and then write your thoughts down because this is going to help you come up with your word. So part 1 is identifying what you need. All right, so question 1 is, what do you need right now in your career? Do you need training? Do you need education? Are you looking for a new job? Maybe a promotion. Maybe you want to move to that next level. Maybe it's support you need. And if that is what you're looking for right now in your career, what I want you to do is to think about this question. I'm pondering a little bit because somebody just joined. What do you need right now in your career? So I'm going to give everyone about a minute, and I want you to think about this and write your things down at what you're looking for in your career. So I'm going to set a timer, and then I'll let you guys know when time's up, okay? Okay. So the minute's up. I know it went very quickly. So hopefully you've answered that question of what do you need right now in your career? So our second question of this series of questions is, what do you need right now in your relationships? Is it time? Is it trust? Is it compassion? Do you need closure for some events? Do you need something from either friends, your spouse, your family, your kids? What is it that you need right now in your relationship? So we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to give you a minute. You're going to think about it and you're going to write all the things down that you need. For those who just joined, we're going through the questions. This is the first series of questions, and we're going to see how these, I'm sorry. I need to enter someone, let somebody in. We're going to see how these questions will help us determine our one word. And so we're on the first series of questions. We're on question 2. The first question is, what do you need in your career right now? Second question is, what do you need in relationships right now? So time, it could be trust, compassion. I'm going to give everyone a minute to write down what are the things that they need in relationships right now. And remember, when you're writing these things down, no one's going to share anything. These are just things that you feel in your heart that you need, that you're not going to share with anyone, but it's going to help you determine what your word is for the year. So I'm going to set the timer for another minute, and then I'll let you know when your minute is up. Okay, our minute is up, and hopefully you've written down answers to question number 2, what you need in relationships right now. Okay, question number 3 of this series, we've got 3 series of questions, 3 questions in each series. What do you need right now within yourself? Is it you're lacking self-confidence? Are you looking for discipline in your life? Do you need to believe in what's possible? Or is it a positive mindset, something that needs to change within your thoughts? So I'm going to give you another minute to write down what are the things that you need within yourself to help you choose a word for this year. So I'm going to set a timer again. We'll start right now. Okay, our minute is up. All right, so we're going to go to the next. So as you consider your word, I need you to ask yourself this. Why do I need this word? Are you looking to change something specifically within your career, your health, your finances, or with relationships? Is there something you need to let go of in order to experience what this word has to offer? So like I said, I'm going to go back a little bit for some of the people who just joined. We're talking about how this word's going to impact us in every area of our life. You might choose your word tonight, you might not. When I first did this, I didn't choose my word. It took me a couple of days. And then when we finally figure out what our word is, we're going to define how it's going to impact different areas of our life. So part 2 was about what's in the way. So we need to identify those things. 3 questions. And I'll give you time to think about those questions. Sometimes we have roadblocks we can't see. That's okay. This is an exercise where you can be really honest about it. Sometimes it's just acknowledging our own limiting beliefs or behaviors, things and ways that we blame other people for where we are in our life. Time to be honest. Sometimes you feel like, you know, your kids take up all your time, your spouse takes up all your time, your job takes up all your time. And sometimes really in those instances, we just need to change our perspective, and this word's going to help us do that. So question number 1 for this time is, what is in the way right now in your career? Is it your boss in a conversation that you need to have to make some changes? Is it some coworkers that you need to maybe set some boundaries or talk with them? Is it salary? Is it you need to make more money? You need to figure out what's next. Maybe you need to change jobs. Maybe you need to go for that next promotion. Or is it your schedule that you need to change some things in your schedule at work that's limiting you, or maybe you're not working enough? So what's in the way right now of your career of moving forward? Do the same thing. I'm going to set the timer for a minute and I'll give you guys some time. 1 minute. Okay, our minute is up. As a reminder, you don't have to choose your word tonight. This is just to get you started in the process. Okay, so question number 2, what is in the way right now in relationships? Is it not enough time together, that you're not agreeing on important topics? Either your children aren't helpful with household chores, your spouse isn't helpful, or is it communication? What's in the way that you are looking at? I need to make a change in my relationships right now. So I'm going to give you a minute to think about this. So I'm going to start now. Okay, our minute is up. We're going to go on to question number 3 for this series of questions. And what is in the way right now within yourself? Now, this is an area where I want you to dig deep and really think about some changes that you want to make in your life. Is it anxiety that's getting in the way of you moving forward? Are you overly tired? Are you burnt out? Are you overwhelmed? I'm going to throw worry in there. Is worry getting in the way? Is it your mindset that you need to change how you think about things? Or is it health issues? What are the things that you need to really change? I'm going to give you a minute that you can take the time to think about this next question. What is in the way right now within yourself? Start at the timer. All right, our minute is up. That's our second series of questions. We only have 3 more questions to go. All right, so part 3 is identifying what needs to go. It's our last series of questions. So letting go is hard to do. You've got to dig deep. Sometimes things in our past keep us from moving forward, but we can't let our past mistakes or pain stop our progress. So in this series of questions, we're going to identify the things that you need to let go of in order to move forward. So question number 1 is, what needs to go right now in your career? So are you working long hours and it's really stopping you or inhibiting you from doing the things that you want to do, or going to school, or making some changes? Are you doubting your ability at work? Is it you want to go for a promotion and you're like, man, I don't know if I can really do this. Let me kind of muster up that confidence. Or is it that you don't like your job and you really need to make some changes and you've been there for a while and you just haven't stepped out and said, I'm going to do that this year? What needs to go right now in your career? So I'm going to give you a minute here. I'm going to set the timer and you're going to think about and write down the things in your career that need to go. Okay, our minute is up. Next question. Hold on a second. Question number 2. What needs to go right now in your relationships? Is it things like keeping score of what's going on? Are you holding on to expectations that you really just need to talk about? Is it communication, or is it unforgiveness that you need to forgive someone in your relationships? Now, this just isn't just a relationship with the spouse. It could be a relationship in any relationship, coworkers, friends, family members. What are the things that are standing in the way of your relationships right now that you need to let go? So I'm going to give you a minute, and I'm going to start now. All right, our minute's up. We're going to go on to our last question of the night. So question number 3. What needs to go right? What needs to go, what you need to let go right now within yourself? It's another area where we're going to dig deep. Do you have poor sleep patterns, poor eating habits? You need to change how you're eating. Are you failing or choosing not to set boundaries? Are you burning yourself out? Are you reliving guilt over past mistakes? What are the things that you know that you're like, you know what, if I could just get over this, then I can move forward. So I'm going to give you a minute to write these things down. I'm starting now. All right, our minute is up. Okay, so I want you to think about all the questions that we've asked and all the things that have come up. And is there an overall feeling that you long for in your life, in your career, or within yourself? So I'm going to give you a list of words, and I want you to list all the words that come to mind. And this is what I did when I did this exercise. I wrote down all the words that I felt, you know, in my heart. I was like, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. And I really spent some time looking at each of those words over a course of a couple of days. But I'm going to show you how we're going to write, whatever you choose, how you're going to write those words out and how it's going to impact different areas of your life. So here's word of the year ideas and some words to live by. So there's a lot of words on this list. So I'm going to give you some time to just kind of look at them, just to kind of jog your thought process, your mind, to see if any of these stand out for you, or maybe you have your own and you can write some things down. And this is just a short list of what's up here. It's probably about 175 words. So let's take a few minutes to just look at some of these words like inspiration, inspire, challenge, chase, compassion, compromise, confidence, it's a good one, consistency, health, harmony, words to live by like open, heal, treasure, acceptance. A lot of words on this list. So if you want to take, you know, write some of these down, or you can come up with them on your own. So this is how you're going to choose your word, what's coming up for you. Is it one word that resonates with you, or a couple that you can think over or pray over and see how those might impact your life? So this is an example how some people have used their words. So I'm going to use this first example as intentional. So this person's driving factor was to stop going through the motions in life, that they felt like they were just all over the place, and they were just going through the motions. So they decided that their word was intentional, and they said that they would be intentional in how they use their time, how they'll be intentionally connecting with their husband daily, intentionally disconnecting from social media, intentionally maintaining a schedule of promotions in their business, intentional with their spending, and intentional with their food choices and how they're preparing food for their family. I'm going to give you a couple examples. I'm going to share my word with you too. I'm going to give you one more example. So this person's word was constraint. Their driving factor is having more time for what they want to focus on. And when I looked at this word, I thought, oh my gosh, constraint, that seems confining, but it was great for this person. They're going to practice constraint with information and products that they consume, keeping a rigid schedule so they would have more time to focus on what they want to. They're going to practice constraint with saying yes too often and saying no so they can have more time and not just saying no to or saying yes to everything. They're going to practice constraint with their finances and constraint in their business or their career. So your one word is for you. No one else needs to get it. It doesn't have to resonate with anyone. It just has to resonate with you and something that is in your heart. So I'm going to share my word with you. My word for this year is purposeful. I looked up this word and it means definite aim, one of the definitions, definite aim and a strong desire to achieve my goals. So I have chosen to be purposeful in my morning routine, which has been big for me lately. Purposeful when making food choices because I need to be healthier. I will be purposeful with my time for family and friends. I will be purposeful with my finances. I will be purposeful with my thoughts. I'm not going to let my thoughts run me. I'm going to control my thoughts. And I will be purposeful with my client interactions. So hopefully I've given you some ways of choosing your words and how to use them to impact every area of your life. And so now in this last section, I want to give you how we're going to take these words and put them into action so you don't forget them. So what does it look like? So when you write about this word, where will it guide you? How will it change you, or how can it change you? What do you hope to accomplish with your word? And what will be the outcome of this word? So how will you stay focused on this word? So this was really big because when I had chosen a word before, I didn't stay focused on it because it wasn't in front of me, top of mind. So you constantly need to remind yourself of what you've chosen to do, because remember, we went over 3 areas. What do you need in your life? What is in the way in your life? And what needs to go? And those areas are in your career, your relationship, or within yourself. And the areas that you can choose to make impacts in your life is your health, your spirituality, your emotional health, your finances, and your goals, and your career. Those are the areas where these words need to be front and center. So you can use a dry erase marker over the mirror. I know this is something my daughter does a lot. She does this with her kids in their bathroom, and she's constantly putting positive affirmations in front of her so she sees this on a daily basis. You can create a letter board. You can create a custom desktop or phone wallpaper. Canva has some great templates for that. I'm going to create a phone wallpaper for my phone so I can keep those things top and in front of my mind. You can set phone reminders. You can have accountability partners so that person knows what your word is and to keep you focused on that. Or you can have a vision board. One of the things that I chose to do is I created something on my Cricut, and this is going to go on my wall. Hopefully you can see this. And this is my word, and I'm going to put this on my wall so I see this every day that I'm looking at, that I need to stay purposeful in those areas that I've chosen. So I'm sure there's plenty of ways that you can think of that you can choose your word and keep it front and center. So hopefully this was helpful for you. I just want to thank you for taking the time to bless me and to participate with me. Just want to give you a little bit of insight on who I am, because there's some people on this call that I don't know. So my name is Rochelle Baker. I own a consulting firm. I am a coaching and consulting firm. I am a John Maxwell certified coach. I've got close to 30 years in the recruiting industry. So I've worked with a lot of people. In the last 7 years, I've done leadership recruitment. And right now I'm working with women who are looking to shift into their next phase or prepare to retire. I walked away from corporate America last year, and I was able to start my consulting firm. And it really was a retirement for me. A couple of years ago, I put on my calendar that I wanted to retire by the time I was 62. I had really been thinking about how I wanted to do it. I was able to do that without even thinking about it. When I decided that I was going to retire and walk away from corporate America, I went through an old calendar and I realized that I had put that down on paper. And so I really was asking and praying that God would give me a way that I would be able to replace my income and not retire from work, but retire from corporate America. So I was able to do that last year. So I've got experience with helping people who are frustrated in their job, if they're bored or they're stuck in their career and they want to figure out what's next. I can help. One of the ways of getting in contact with me, hold on one second, is I'm on Instagram, on Facebook as a New Life Consulting. Take my phone number, give me a call, send me a text. I'll send you a link to my calendar. If you just want to have a talk and figure out what's next. I know one of my friends told me she was inviting a friend that needed some help in her career. Give me a call, I can help. I've been doing this for a really long time. And I just want to thank everyone for participating. I am going to tell everybody, if you have any questions, we do have some time. Unmute your phone and let me know if you have any questions, and we can talk about any questions you might have. So does anyone have any questions? Okay, I don't hear any questions. So I am going to send everyone an email. In this email, I'm going to send you a recording of this workshop so you can go through it again. And if you want to respond to my email and tell me what you thought about this workshop. One other thing, I have a couple things coming up. Let me see if I could find that slide. I think it's here. I do have another workshop coming up in 2 weeks on Thursday, the 26th. It's creating a 5-minute morning routine. I think I said that in my morning routine. I've created a morning routine that really helps me stay focused. Of course, it starts with prayer, and then I do a couple of other things, but I can teach you how to create a 5-minute morning routine that can help you stay focused. And I realize that the days that I do my morning routine, my days are good, even if something bad happens. But the days that I don't start off that way, my day is all over the place. And then I did 2 masterminds last year. Since I'm a John Maxwell certified coach, I'm doing this again. The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. It's an 8-week mastermind. If you're interested, let me know. It's going to start February 2nd at 7:30 p.m. And I do offer one-on-one career and life coaching. I have someone who has their hand raised. I think, can you unmute yourself so you can ask a question?
I just wanted to know how, like, you sign up for that workshop, or are you gonna send a link, or how?
I will, the next workshop, yes, I'm going to send a link to everyone that registered. So you can register for the next workshop. So great question, thanks.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, thank you so much for your time. I hope this was enjoyable. Love you all and have a great evening.